Hey you guys, it's Britt. Today we're here to react to Johnny Silvestri's statement that he made against Swoop following her part 3 video release. And I had a few thoughts, so if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright you guys, so I said in a recent video that I was going to make this a separate video because in all fairness, I will always look at all sides if and when they're available, and this is a statement that he published on his own, and he has a whole lot to say about Swoop. Now, I want to just say one thing before we get into this, and that is that I just recently discovered Swoop, and a lot of you guys had just the best things to say in that comment section about her, and it's tough to find good people on social media. Obviously, doing commentary, I cover a lot of dishonest, fraudulent types of creators that I come across, and it feels really good to mention that I found someone and have so many people co-sign and support being happy that I found somebody. And so it's tough, and I just wanted to extend another thank you to her for doing such a good deep dive and being so willing to hold people accountable even if it's tough to do so. I feel like anything with the Colleen fandom, some of this stuff is tough and it's not easy to talk about, and to have somebody do such a thorough, non-biased job is amazing. So I'm going to watch some of her other content, but I just wanted to throw that here in the beginning. But yeah, so basically he released this statement on Twitter, I believe the same day that her video dropped. Obviously, her video was getting a lot of attention, tons of traction, and once people consumed the evidence that was presented through her video, they were no longer here for Johnny. And I'm sure that he felt like his little narrative that he had been working on for a couple of months was just disintegrating faster than he could even imagine. But again, on social media with a lot of stuff, most people like to stick to the facts. And if the facts say that you're a damn hypocritical liar, then people are going to walk away from it coming to that conclusion. There's not a whole lot that you can do aside from look back in time and say, maybe I should have just been honest, and maybe I should have acted like an ally instead of wanting to be the main character, and things would have turned out a lot different. But nevertheless, I don't want to ramble. So his video starts out and says, "Betrayed is an understatement. My trauma was used against me today in a way I had never imagined would happen." Now, trauma being used against him. What trauma did he have? Because based on what I've seen, the biggest thing that he had was that Corey and Colleen, they weren't the best to him, considering that he was an employee. Do I think that they could have treated him a little better? Sure. But if he's saying that he had trauma when it comes to Josh, I think that Josh was trying to keep an unhinged Stan at arm's length because he saw the issues that were arising with Johnny, and he has acknowledged that and taken accountability, and Johnny continued to send venomous hatred his way and fully label Josh as some very, very disgusting things with no evidence that backed up any of his claims. So I'd like to know, what's the trauma? Because most people are seeing directly through Johnny's narrative now. I was given guidance and a safe space to share my story. And I think that that's exactly what Swoop provided, is it not? I think that what's happening here is Johnny is mad that he was found out. He was mad because he thought that he was going to trick Swoop and get some of her followers over on his channel and build up more of his social media. But instead of her just believing every single thing that he was saying, she decided to dig a little deeper. And once she started digging, it was game over. And her being a somebody who has morals and ethics in the commentary space is going to be forthcoming with the information that was uncovered. That is in all fairness, and that is what a good commentary channel would do. I was praised for being so vulnerable and honest, only to be defamed on such a gross level. It feels beyond explanation right now. So, telling people the truth is not defamation. People love to throw around the word defamation, and I've been seeing this for over 2 years on YouTube. It's always defamation. It's always you're slandering me. If somebody is speaking about their interactions with you or information that was uncovered about you, backed up by receipts, that's not defamation. That's just reporting on the story. Now, if you want to talk about defamation, let's talk about all of the things that Johnny has said about Joshua without any solid evidence. Because if we're going to talk about defamation, I would say that coming out and calling somebody a predator and saying that they need to be in jail without any proof that they are a predator is real defamation. And I'll be honest with you guys, I hope that Josh sues Johnny, and I hope that he makes an example out of him. He continued and said, I feel so hurt and disregarded. Swoop, you claim to stand for victims, and what you did today is the polar opposite. I think that Swoop made it very obvious that she stands for the truth. He goes on to say that she had no regard for his life, the trauma I faced, my safety, or the safety of so many others involved. So here we go, again, trying to bring in other victims that are actual victims of the Ballinger camp and make it sound like he should be in the same boat with them. But the difference is between Adam McIntyre and Johnny is that Adam has been transparent and forthcoming and has shown the receipts step by step, 100% transparency. We didn't get that from Johnny, and he tried to literally build a story around Joshua David Evans that mirrored Adam's story with Colleen. He was found out. Swoop dug deeper and found out that he was essentially he was a super obsessed fan of Joshua David Evans. And he came off from the get-go, to me, he always came off like a scorned lover. And that was the vibe that I got. I saw a whole lot of bitterness, not a whole lot of evidence, and just so much hate and disdain for Josh. Up until Swoop's video, a lot of us were still willing to give Johnny time and space. But at the same time, if you're in the position where you want to come out and say that somebody is a P word with your whole chest, then you can't tell people that they need to wait on the evidence. Because until you're ready to release the evidence, then you shouldn't be calling people the P word and saying that they should be in jail. That is not fair. You want to talk about looking out for somebody's safety and their well-being and their mental health. Look at the role that Johnny played in literally trying to ruin Joshua Evans. And I'm not a Josh stan, but I am here for fairness, and I think that he was mistreated by not only Johnny, but the rest of Colleen's fandom. And to my knowledge, Adam McIntyre is the only one who has come out and taken full accountability for his role in the negativity that he sent Josh. He continued and said, you've completely shifted the narrative while making sure to promote your merch and fabricate a story for some extra revenue. I didn't see an ounce of fabrication. Correct me, as always, you guys know, correct me if I'm wrong down below. I saw somebody who presented factual evidence. What? She had links for her merch? Okay. She's also being so much more transparent than what we've ever seen out of Johnny. This is also the same guy who was literally trying to build up subscribers and teasing out a story and saying that he was going to have some big bombshell after he built up his audience. So who's really in this for the money, John? I am so beyond disgusted by all of this. I think people are disgusted by the lies that Johnny has told. He continued and said, I'm not going to sit here and defend myself to every one of your heinous allegations about me via Notes app, but I will be making a proper statement regarding all these disgusting and false statements. So, again, the way that he's acting, let's put that same energy towards the things that he said about Josh. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but if you are going to come out and say that somebody is being dishonest, then show the receipt. And that's exactly what Swoop did. If she said, I feel like I'm being lied to, then she went into great detail as to why she came to that conclusion. On the other end, we have Johnny saying that Josh should be in jail and has shown not a lick of evidence of something that he did that was actually illegal. Something that was not something that I would do? Absolutely. Illegal? Or to be labeled a predator? Zero. The whole time, asking for people to follow along, he was going to drop the big bombshell that never came to exist. Disgusting. He continued and said, this is 100% character assassination and I won't stand for it. Again, you know, do I need to say it? Who really was here to assassinate someone's character? Swoop, you encouraged me and made me feel like you were a massive source of trust. And I think that Swoop is trustful. And I think that she is so trustful that she was willing to be transparent about the findings that she and her team came across so that we as an internet society were fully well aware of what was going on, what was questionable, what was actually fact, what was proven, disproven. And I think that's amazing. And she did a fantastic job. You chose to interview Adam about allegations regarding me rather than talking to me first, which is, for starters, is scummy. Yeah, but here's the thing, John. If you're given an opportunity to tell somebody your story, then that is what it is. You told your story and you told it over and over again, adding different details or leaving certain details out the entire way. So you've had your voice. You've had your voice so many different times. Remember the H3 podcast where he would not let the other victims literally get a word in? I rewatched that video a couple days ago and it literally made my stomach turn watching him just trample all over that interview and just hog the mic and hog the attention. And he wanted everybody to know that he was the biggest victim. It's all about Johnny all the time. And here's what I've always said. When it comes to your origin story, I consider this to be Johnny's origin story because a lot of us didn't even know that he was out there until all of this happened. With your origin story, you know that off the back of your hand. This isn't something that happened 50 years ago. This isn't something that happened 25 years ago. This is something that happened very recently, and this is what you want everybody to know. You're screaming it from the rooftops. So you had your turn to tell your origin story. And if Swoop wants to ask Adam his opinion on certain things, that's not against the law. That is simply interviewing different parties that are or might be related to a certain situation. It is not slander, it's not defamation, it's not any of that. It's simply talking to different parties at different moments in time. That's what commentary channels do. He continues, you wanted information at your request as if I wasn't working full time and in the process of moving, which I was upfront about. You can call names and spread your lies, but I know my truth and I will not stop sharing it because of people like you. Here's the thing though. If you're going to come out with such egregious claims against somebody, that's what I said. You better be ready to also present the evidence. And once Swoop uncovered the entire iMessage part of her episode, that raised a whole bunch of questions. And it basically showed that Johnny was not being forthcoming with the evidence that he had. Here's been my entire thing. You don't come out and label somebody as a predator, a pervert, a pedo, any of these, people that do not belong in society. You don't come out and call people that if you have zero evidence that you are ready to present to back up your claims. I think that there was a lot of malicious intent behind Johnny's claims against Joshua. I think that there is definitely something there that Josh could present in a court of law, and I don't think that it would end very well for Johnny. And I don't know if Josh is even in the headspace or the financial position to even want to go down that route. But I do think that there are some serious conversations that could be had about this going the legal route. But Johnny had his opportunity. He had so many different chances to not only tell his story, but also present facts and evidence when it was asked for. Because again, we are not living in a some kind of weird bizarro world where you can just go around, label people as P words, and then say that, oh, my computer's broken. Oh, that bombshell, yeah, it's on my old computer. That's not how it goes, dude. Like, not today, not ever. And Swoop was onto him, and she expressed the inconsistencies and issues with his timeline, his story, and a lot of the egregious claims that he was making, alongside all of those venomous tweets that he was constantly just... He did. He seemed like an obsessed ex who never let go, and saw that Adam was getting a lot of attention and support and figured that he could just build the same storyline around he and Josh. And it blew up in his face because he chose to be dishonest and not be forthcoming with the evidence to back up all of these crazy claims that he was making. Those are my thoughts right now on the Johnny situation. Who knows? Let me check his YouTube and see if he has come out with a video. I mean, the crazy thing is like, he'll continue to make himself the victim in all of this because he's too far in now to actually be truthful, even though I do think that it would do him a lot of good to just own it at this point and be truthful and try to move on with his life. He's lost about 1,000 subscribers on his small YouTube channel that is sitting at around 8,000 subscribers now. When this doc dropped, he was over 9,000. And it's just the attention, the give me attention at any cost. It's the copying things that Adam would do. Like, I'm looking right now at this thumbnail that he did for his ukulele parody. And it's just unoriginal, Stan vibes, overly obsessed, and just bizarre. So I don't know what his deal is, but things could have ended differently, and he chose a different route. So, there is no fast track to being known on social media. Like, usually if you're lying about your origin story or being dishonest, like, people are gonna see through you. Like I said in my video yesterday, he could have been an ally and still received a ton of support and been a voice of reason. And he chose to fabricate and lie and try to cheat his way through getting the attention that he clearly has always desired. Nevertheless, I'm getting ready to edit this video, and I'm going to watch Peter Mon's video. I see it here when I searched for Johnny, and I didn't get a chance to watch it last night, so I'm going to edit this while I listen to Peter and what he has to say. But that's going to be it for now. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.